Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to Frank Puzzles, and this is today's challenging level puzzle, and it's called Dutch Flatmates Frameless by Flinty. And here are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply, which means place the digits 1 through 9 once each in every row, column, and box. 2. Dutch flatmates. Every 5 in the grid must have a 1 directly above it or a 9 directly below it. It may have both, but it doesn't need both. So if this were 5, it has to have at least a 1 above it or a 9 below it or both, but if it has to have one of these at least. So that's Dutch flatmates. Excuse me. Frameless. The numbers outside the grid indicate the sum of the first n cells in that row column from that direction for some value of n from 1 to 9. So basically that's just saying that the first n cells must add up to whatever is outside. So the first n cells, which could be up to 5 cells could add up to 16. This could be the first 2 cells could add up to 16. So this is not x sums, which is that the n has to be the first digit. This is just saying that it's the first n digits, and it could be any n for these. It's very weird to have that, but I guess it's sort of a variant on x sums without the x, essentially. So it's kind of weird to see, but you know, it's yeah, it is what it is. So the n, again, remember, the n does not have to be the first, is not specifically, well, it doesn't have to be the first digit. It could just be any number that we choose from 1 to n, from 1 to 9. So that's just any number we choose, and it could be different for each frameless clue. And those are all the rules. If you'd like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now I'm going to get started. Okay, let's go. Okay, so there's no. One thing we've noticed is that the outer sets of the cells must have add up to 44 in both column 2 and column 3. It's the same for row 8. That probably is important because we know then that means the 1 has to be in between the sets of cells. Now, the thing is, you can only have 3 cells at least that add up to 1. Sorry, that adds up to 20. So 1 can never be one of these 3 cells. Similarly, you have to have at least 5 cells add up to 31. So 1 cannot ever be in any of these cells. So 1 could be in any of specifically these 4 cells. And it actually has to be in one of them here and then the other one here then. Because these add up to 13. The first 2 at least add up to 13, and the next 3 add up to 13. Therefore, the 1 has to be one of these cells, because we know one of the ones in column 2, one of the one has to be either be in row 3 or row 4, and in column 3, the 1 has to be in row 3 or row 4. This can't be 1, obviously, because you can't have 0 digits adding up to 20. Yeah, because you know 1 cannot be in the sets. It has to be the ones that surround it. Or it has to be in the middle between the 2 sets of 20 and 24. And it could be 3 here. It could be up to 5. Can it be up to 6? No, because this is 24 at least. So therefore, the 1 has to be one of these 3 cells here. This could be 1, and this could be 1, right? Either of them are fine. This could be 6, I guess. What else do we know? So one of the ones has to be one of these here. So either this is 6 and this is 1. So this could be 6 and this is 1. Or this is 1 and this has to be 2 and 4. Okay. So if this is 1, it could be 2 and 3, right? That's still fine. Yeah, either this is 6 and this is 1. Or this is not 1 and this is... this would have to be 2 and 4 with 1. That's fine, I guess. One of these adds up to 13. This has to be 1 through 4. This must be 1 through 6. This must be 1 through 6. Actually, can't be 1, though. So, So the 1 is one of these two. We don't know anything about this. So if this is 1, this could be with 2 and 3, or it's with 5. If it's not 1, then obviously this is 1, and it could be with 2, 3. This could not be 5, though. If this is 5, this would have to be 1, which is not allowed, because we know the 1 has to be one of these 3. So this cannot be 5. Every 5 in the grid must have a 1 directly above it or a 9 directly below it. Okay. So, where's the 5 then in row 9? It always has to have a 1 above it. Therefore, it cannot be here because the 1 can't be above it, and it can't be here so because the 1 can't be above it. Therefore, the 5 in row 9 has to be one of these 3. And 5 cannot be, well, it could be the middle one because it could be with 2 and 3, right? That's possible. So 5 has to be one of these 3. This could be 5. But if this is 5, I guess this would have to be a 6, and this would have to be 1. It's possible. 5 cannot be here because it can't be with 9. It has to have a 9 below it. So 5 in the middle in row 8, where it could be here. It could be either of these, as long as these are 9. 5 can never be here, right? If 5 is one of these 3, it would have to have a 9 below it, which would mean the first 2 digits would add up to 14 or 5. But none of those are viable. 14 or more, I should say, or 5. And but all of these say that the 13 is here. So therefore 5 could be any of these. But if the 5 is here, that would mean that the 1 is below it. And therefore 1 would never be above it. And 9 would never be below it. So this can never be 5. So 5 has to be one of these 3. And 1 can never be above it. Therefore 9 must be below it. And therefore 9 can never be here So this can't be 5. Therefore, this is the only possible 5. And therefore, this is 9, which makes this a 1 and this a 1. So this has to be... I guess this could have been 5 and... No, it can't. Yeah. This is 1. Wait, that doesn't work. One of these has to be a 1. Because you have to have 5 digits here. At least. It can't be 4 to add up to 31. The 5 has to have either a 1 above it, in which none of these can be 1. So this can't be, none of these 5s are valid, or a 9 below it. So this has to be 5, or this is 5. If this is 5, this is a 1 below it, so this can't be. But this doesn't work. This would be 5, 9, and 1. That's not possible. What am I doing wrong here? The first n digits outside the grid indicates the numbers outside indicates the sum of the first n digits. 31, so it has to be at least 5 digits without a 1. And 13, which means the first 2 digits without a 1 or 3 digits without a 1. It could be even 4 digits without, well, it can't be 4 digits without a 1. So 1 has to be one of these 4. Oh, 5 could be here. No, because the 5 has to be with a 9 below it. I think the 5 could be here. I think that's where I'm messing up. Yeah. It doesn't have to be 6. It could be 5 and 1 here. Right, because the 1 doesn't designate the stop between there. So this could be 5 here. So that's where we're messing up. So again, the problem with this being 5, any of these being 5 means that there has to be a 9 below it, because 1 can't be above it, obviously. But then the first n digits would either be 5 or 14 or more. And that doesn't fit for any of them. So therefore 5 cannot be here. If this is 6... Yeah, I think that was a mistake. So therefore... This cannot be 1. It could be 3. Because the 1 doesn't have to be in... The 1 can be part of the set here. So this is not... This has to be 2 through 6, though. One of these is 1. So 5 could be here, in which case this is 9. That's fine. 5 could be here. 5 cannot be here because 9 cannot be below it and 1 can't be above it. So 5 cannot be here. So this could be 5. If this is 5, the sum would either be 7. I guess it could be 6. So that's fine. Right, so 5 could be here. 5 is also valid here, which would mean 9 is here. 5 could be here because 9 could be this one, right? No, if this is 5 and this is 9, that means this is 1. Right, so this can't be 5 because the 9 can't be below it and the 1 can't be above it. This can't be 5 because if the 1 can't be above it, obviously. If it's 9 is below it, that means the 1 has to be below that, which means this total would add up to at least 14. Because the 1 would be between... 1 is always in between the sets. So the 5 and the 9 would be here, but that would be 14 already, which doesn't add up to 13. Same here. If this is 5, therefore a 9 has to be below it. So therefore this couldn't be. So therefore the 5 has to be one of these 3 also. Which means the 9 has to be below it, because the 1 can never be above it. So the 5 is one of these. The 9 has to be below it. If it's any of these, the 1 is removed as a possibility. So it cannot be either of these. Oops. So it cannot be here, and then the 9 cannot be here. So this must be the 5, and this has to be 9. Which means the first n digits add up to 6. The only possibility then has to be 1 here. Which means this can't be 1, or this can't be 1. And this has to be the 1. So these two add up to 6. We have 2 digits that add up to 10 in between these, because the first 5 digits must, or it could be 3 digits, I guess, adding up to 10. But the problem is that 1, 2, 7 is eliminated, 1, 3, 6 is eliminated, and 1, 4, 5 and 2, 3, 5 are eliminated, and those are the only ways for 3 digits to add up to 10. Therefore, these 2 digits must add up to 10, so it's either 2, 8, 3, 7, or 4, 6. We're not sure which. This can't be 5, obviously. This is 1. The 5 could be either of these two. Cannot be either of these two because the 9 can't be below it. So the 5 could be any of these 4. These are 2 digits that add up to 13. So these 3 digits, 2 digits add up to 13. So it's either 4, 9 or it's 6, 7. Either these 3 digits add up to 13 or these 2 digits add up to 13. If it's 3 digits, these would have to add up to 8. So this would have to be 2 and 6 with it. Hold up. Okay. We know the first 3 digits add up to 13. The first 3 digits here have to add up to 13. These add up to 6. So what's the rest? This must add up to 13. What does this have to add up to? Since this is 13, and this is 6, and this is 13, this adds up to 26 plus 6, which is 32. So this must be the 2 that add up to 13. So this has to be 4, 6, and 7, because it cannot be 4, 9, cannot be 5, 8. Therefore, this is 4, 9, which forces this to be 2, 3, and 8. So this can't be 6. This can't be 6. These can no longer... It cannot have 1 digit adding up to 6. It cannot be 3 because the 1 is not there. So this can't be 1, 2, and 3. Therefore, it must be 2 digits adding up to 6. Therefore, it has to be 2 and 4 here. This can't be 1, 2, 3, or 8. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9. Obviously, 9 cannot be here. 4 can't be here. So 4 and 9 both have to be here. This can't be 4. Therefore, this must be 2, and this must be 4. 5 is one of these 3. This can't be 4. 1 is one of these 2. So this cannot be 2 or 1. It could be 3 or 8. And this is 1, 2, 3, or 8. But 1 cannot be here. This must be 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 5 cannot be here, again, because of the Dutch flatmates. This is 4 or 9, so that's fine. This cannot be 2 digits adding up to 12. It could be 4 digits adding up to 12, though. Or it could be 3 digits. Because this can't be 4 and 9. This is 5 and 1, so that's fine. So this is 2. These 2 add up to 10. So this is also 2 or 8, or it's 7 now. It's possibilities. Because these 5 must add up to 29. 5 cannot be any of these three because it doesn't have a 1 above it or 9 below it. So this cannot be 5, which means this is 3, 6, 7, 8 quadruple in column 2. That means 3, 6, 7, and 8 are eliminated from the rest of the cells. Therefore, this has to be a 5, which means this can't be 5. This can't be 5. We have a 6, 7 pair in column 3. Therefore, 5 cannot... Oh, well, we already knew 5 couldn't be the last one. So 9 has to be one of the bottom two because it has to be right below a 5. So therefore, this cannot be 9. One of these is 5. One of these is 9. This can't be 6 or 7 because of the 6, 7, 6, 7 pair in box 4, which eliminates all 6, 7s in the rest of the cells. So this is a 3, 8, 3, 8 pair. This is 4 and 2. This is 5 and 1. If this is 9, that doesn't work. Because if this was 9, this would have to add up to 12 by itself. Or you would have to have 1 and 2 with it, which is not possible. So that doesn't work either way, so this has to be a 4. Which makes this a 5. Oops, not that 5. Makes this a 5 and that a 9. To have the 5 have a 9 below it. Or 1 above it, but there's no one possibly to be above it. So the 5 has to also be one of these 3. Okay. Okay, so this is either the first 3 add up to 12 or the first 4 add up to 12. We're not sure which. If it's the first 4 add up to 12, it can only be 1, 2, 4, and 5, which is not possible because this can't be 1 or 2. Therefore, it's the first 3 that add up to 12. So it's 1 and 8 with 4, 2 and 7 with 4. No, that's up to 12. So it's 1 and 7 with 4, so this can't be 8. 2 and 6 with 4, and then the 3s are not allowed. So this is 6 or 7 also. This is 1 or 2. Five cannot be in the middle, right? Because if 5 is in the middle, it has to be with another 5 to add up to 10. Because you can't have 5, 1, 4. Actually, wait, you could have 5, 2, 3, though. So 5 could actually be in the middle. Never mind. 5 could be in the middle. Never mind. This is 1 through 4. We have 5 here, 9 above it. 5 has to have the 1 above it. 5 has to have either the 1 above it or the 9 below it. Either one works. These add up to 10. These add up to 29. But there's no real restrictions there. First 3 at least could add up to 24. First 3 here have to add up to 16 at least. So, okay, so there's 10 in between the sets here. So this is 2 and 4. This at least has to be 29. It could be 4 digits. 5, 7, 8, 9. That's possible, and this could be 1 and 3. Or if there's 5 digits that add up to 29, these two would have to add up to 10 because these add up to 6. And 45 minus 29 minus 6 is 10. So this would have to be either 3 and 7 or it's 1, 3, and 6. So either one could still work. So 3 we know has to be one of these two. We're not sure which though. Therefore 3 has to be one of these 3. Again, this could be 1 or 3. So this cell has to be a 1 or 3. It's either this is 3 and that's 7, or it's 1 or 3, that's 1 or 3, and this is 6. Those are the possibilities that work to make these frameless clues work. Hmm. So we know these three sell. So these two have to not be part of the 23. This one also could be not part of the 23. It's not given very much though there. Every 5 must have a 1 directly above it or 9 directly below it. Okay. We know these 5 have a 1 directly above it. So the 5 has to be 1 above it. This can no longer... Okay, so this has to be add up to 20. The minimum, if it were 5 digits, would be 9 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus... Yeah, and that would be too much. That would be 23. So this can never be 1, which means this can't be 5, which means 5 must be in the middle set here, which is not in the left set with the 12, and it's not in the right set with the 23. So the only way that can be, because it adds up to 10, would be if it's 2, 5, and 3. So therefore, this must be 2, 3, and 5, which means this can't be 2 or 3. So this is 1, which makes this 7. This can't be 1 anymore. This can't be 7. So 1 is here, which means 1 has to be one of these 3. Obviously, this can't be 5. So therefore, this has to be 6, 8, and 9. 5 is one of these 3. This adds up to 12 already. So this cannot contain 6, 8, or 9. So this has to be 1. 1 can't be here. 1, we have 2, 3, 4. 5 obviously could be here, and then 7. Right? This is 2, 3, or 5. 1 could be here, in which case this has to be 3, 8, 3, 8, and 9. This cannot contain 2, 3, or 5. So 1 has to be one of these two. It cannot contain 2, 3, or 5. So it could be 4, 6, 7, or 8. Okay. These already add up to 31. These add up to 31. These specifically add up to 31. So it's 2 and 8, which adds 10. 3 and 7, which is 10. 5 and 6, which adds up to 11. So that's 31. The first at least... It can't be at least... It has to be more than 3. So the first 4 have to add up at least to 24. This is 1 through 4. These 5 add up to 29 for certain. So we know there's a 4, a 6, and a 9 there. That doesn't really tell us much. It's 23. So we've used this clue, we've used this clue, we've used this clue. We haven't completely used this clue. This clue's done, this clue's done, this clue's done. We haven't used this clue. We've kind of used this clue for this middle section. We've kind of used this clue, but this one's less. We haven't used this clue. We've kind of used it with the 20, but we still have some information. This one's completely done, essentially. Huh. If this is 5 and 1, this has to be 8, which is fine. Or it could be... No, it can't be 9. Right, it's 5 and 1. I guess this could be smaller, too. It doesn't have to be 8. Hmm. Hmm. So every 5 could have a 1 above it, or a 9 below it, or both. Hmm. Here. Oh, 5, well, 5 could be here, as long as the 1's here. Hmm. So, 9 could be all of these. Five obviously can't be here to add up to the 10. In the middle, we know this is 2, 3, 5. This is 1, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 5 could be either of these two, or either of these three. What happens if this is 5 and 1? So if this is 5 and 1, this has to be 3, 8, 9. That's fine. It becomes 2, 3, 2, 3. This is 5 and 1, and therefore this is 3. 5, 1, 3 adds up to 9. So it could be 2 and 6 here, or it's 8 here, right? That works, I think. What happens if this is 1, 2? So say it's 1, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. These other three must add up to 15 at least. It could be 4. Well, it can't be 4. No, it'd be... Oh. No, it would have to be 2 digits adding up to... Huh. So, okay, what happens there? So say this was a 1, which forces this to be 5, because the 5 has to be below a 1, have a 1 above it. So this would be 3. Either this adds up to 8, or these two add up to 8. Say we had these two add up to 8. So therefore it's 2, 6, 2, 6. This can no longer be 2. We need at least 2 digits adding up to 15. But the problem is it can't be 7, 8, because that would eliminate all possibilities here. It can't be 6, 9, because the 6 is already here. So it would have to either be 3 digits, but that's not possible with a 4, 7, and 8 at minimum. So that, because that adds up to 19. So this would not work. So if you have 5, 1, 3, it has to be with 8. So this has to be 8 then. At least these 2 digits add up to 13, or these 3 digits add up to 13. Obviously, you can't have 8 here. You still then could have 6, 9 here, so that's fine. You could actually have 2, 4, 9. So this would be then, if that's the case, this would be 9 and 4, or 6 and 7. Or The middle digits add up to, so it would be 247 if that's the case. So if this is 49 or 67, then this would be 2 with 4 or 9 or 6 or 267. That's possible too. Huh. So this is possible. Therefore, these cannot be 8. Because if these were 8... Sorry, this cannot be 8. Because either this is 5-1, or if this is not 5-1, this is 5-1, which forces this to be 8. So this can never be 8. Huh. So this has to be at least the first 3 are in the set. We're not sure which. Similarly, this also has to be the first 3 are in the set. It could be up to 4 here. So this is 3 or 4. We're not sure which. We don't know about this. This doesn't have any information. What are 4-digit numbers that add up to 20 without a 1? Oops, excuse me. What are 4-digit numbers that add up to 8 without a 1? I think it almost has to be 4. Well, we have 9. So then it would have to be the other 3 add up to 11. Which would be 2, 3, and 6. So this would have to be 2, 3, 6 in that case. Right? Because this can't be 2 or 3. And you cannot have a 1. So 3 digits that add up to 11 without a 1 can only be 2, 3, and 6. It could be 2, 4, 5, but the problem is that the 5 can't be there. So this has to be then 1 or 6. Interesting. So either this is 2, 3, 6. So I think 3 is here either way, right? If there's 3 digits that add up to 20, it's 3, 8, and 9. That's the only one that works. If it's 4 digits that add up to 20, the rest of them have to be 3 without a 1. So it has to be 2, 3, 6, and 9. So, and the 3 can never be here. So the 3 always has to be here. Which means this can never be 3. So this can't be 3 either. So this is 1 or 3 here. Okay. If this is 6, this has to be 1 and 5, right? So then this would be 2 or 3. Again, if this is 5 and 1, therefore this is 3. Therefore, you have to at least include that. Therefore, this has to be 8. We tried 2, 6. That doesn't work. What about if this is 6? If this is 6, it's either with... If, say it's with 3. If this is 3, this has to be 1. So then the 2 have to add up to 7. So you have 3, 1, 6. You cannot have 3, 4. You cannot... This cannot be 2 or 5, so this would have to be 7 then in that instance, which does work. Or 3, 6. Yeah, that has to be the case, right? So again, you can't have 2 or 5 here. So this can't be a 2, 5 with 1, 3, 6. And then obviously 3 eliminates the 3, 4. 1, 6 obviously eliminates the 1, 6. So it could only be with 7 then, the 1 digits of a 7. If this is 2 and 6, this could be 9, and that would add up to 17. Hmm. 2 and 6. Which means 2 and 6 add up to... Obviously, you can't have 1, so this would have to be 4 or 6, right, as a possibility. But the 6 can never be because it would have to be with 5 and 1 specifically here. Can you have 2, 6, 4 is the question. Because we tried the 3 with the 6, and that should only provides a certain possibility. You could have 2, 6, 9, so that works. What about 2, 6, 4? 2, 6, 4, that adds up to 12. So you have to have a 5 next, which is not possible here. Or you have to have 2 digits that add up to 5, and 2, 3, and 1, 4 are both eliminated because of the 2 and the 4. So this can never be 4 then. This has to be 7, 8, or 9. Okay. Hmm. Interesting. No, that's not true. Never mind. I was thinking that this would have to be... Hmm. If this is 2, 6, 9, this would have to be 7 or 8. Hmm. I don't know if that tells us very much. Um, 2, 3, 6, 9. So this would be 4, 5, 7. This would be 8, and this would be 1. Yeah, that works. 4, 5, 7 adds up to 16 plus 8 is, yeah, so that's fine. What about this 20 part, right? It has to have 1 and 3. Um, Therefore, I think the first 4 digits have to be there, right? If this is 1 and 3, the most this could be was 137, which would be 11, right? So then it has to have at least 4, could be 5. Um, so say this was, again, if this is 5 and this is 1, this has to be 3. Which means the first, again, we tried 2, 6, that doesn't work. So it would have to be 8 with it. So this would be 6 and 2. This would be 3 and 8, so that's fine. What do these add up to? So this adds up to... So this can't be 2 then. This can't be 1. This can't be 3 or 8. So this is 6 with 4 or 7. One of these is 9. If this is 9, that doesn't work. Because then this would add up to 20 with a 9. Okay, so what does this add up to? This adds up to 10. This adds up to 11. So that's 21 here. If a 9 is here, that's 30. And then therefore these 4 would add up to 15, which is not allowed. And these would add up to 23, so that's not allowed. So this could not be 9. This would have to be 9, which makes this a 4, right? That seems possible. Then this would be 137 with 9. That works. That adds up to 20. This would be 2, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So far, everything's looking fine there. This could not be 8. You could have 6969. And then this would be 247. So this is all looking fine. So if that's the case, this can never be 4 then. So this can't be 4 because it's either this is 5 or 1, and this can't be 5 or 1, and then this would be make that 8, this would be 4, this would be 9, this would be 6 or 7. Or this is 5 and 1, therefore. And this still could be 2 or 3. This would be 9 with 6 or 7 and 2 and 3. So that works. What if this is 1? If this is 1, this is 5. This becomes 2 and 3. So therefore this becomes 6 and 8. Which makes this 8. This has to be 6. This is with 2 or 3. This obviously can't be 8. This is 2. And this is 3. So that seems to work. Oh, wait, hold up. Okay, yeah. These 3. That's what I was missing. These 3 must add up to 6. You can't have an 8 there. Therefore, this must be 3 and 2. Therefore, this must be 3, this must be 2. Since this is 3, this can't be 2, 3, and 6. Therefore, this must be 3 and 8. Therefore, this must be 1. This must be 5. Which makes that a 6. 2 can no longer be here. 1 can't be here. 5 can't be here. This can't be 5 or 1, so this is 3. Again, we tried 2 and 6. That does not work as a 5-digit that adds up to 17. So this must be 4 digits that add up to 17. Therefore, this must be 8. So this can't be 8, which means this can't be 2. This can't be 3. Therefore, this is 8. This is 3. This can't be 8. Again, we try. So these add up to 21. 9 can never be here then. Therefore, this must be 9. So this has to be 4 then to add up to 25 so that these can add up to 20. Therefore, this can't be 4. This can't be 1 or 3. This can't be 7 then. This is 2, 4, 5. This can't be 4. This can't be 1. This can't be 5. So we know this is 9. It could be 2, 6, and 1. So we know this one already adds up to 17. So if this adds up to 15, these 2, it must be 6 and 9. So this is 2, 4, 7, which is possible. Or these 3 add up to 9, and it could be 2, 6, 7. So it could be 2, 6, 7, or 2, 4, 9. In which case, this is 9 and 6. And this can never be 9, obviously. So it'd be 2, 4, 9 if that's the case. Okay. So this is 3. This could be the first 3, or it could include the next one, right? It could be 2. So either this These two add up to 8 at least. Oh, wait, they have to be 8. So this is 2 and 6. Because, yeah, those are the minimum. Okay, so this one's not part of that set. So this is 2 and 6, which makes this 7 and 3. So this is 17. This has to be at least the first 3. It could be more than that. This is also at least the first 3, and this is also, this could, well, actually it doesn't have to be, no, this doesn't have to be the first 3. Never mind. It could be the first 2. So it's at least the first 2, and first 2 here. So this is 1, 2, 3. That adds up to 6. This is 4 and 2. That adds up to 6. This is 5 and 1. That adds up to 6. 6 and 7 add up to 13. 4 and 9 add up to 13. 2, 3, and 8 add up to 13. 4 and 2 add up to 6. 3, 8, and 9 add up to 20. 7, 8, 6, 2, 3, and 5 add up to 31. 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 adds up to 31. Now this, we don't know. So it's either 6, 9 adds up to 15, or it's 2, 4, 7 adds up to 2, 4, 9 adds up to 15, or it's 2, 6, 7 that adds up to 15. We don't know which. This could be 7, 8. So 5 cannot be here. Could be here. Could be here too. 5 cannot be here. So 5 can't be here. 5 can't be here, obviously. So 5 technically could be any of these by Sudoku. If this were 5, there's no 1 above it because this can't be 1. And there's no 9 below it, so this can't be 5. So 5 is one of these 3. If this is 5, the 1 has to be above it. If this is 5, 1 doesn't have to be anywhere. 1 could be here too. So this adds up to 17. That's already done. These 4 add up to 17. These 4 add up to 20. These 5 add up to 24. These 3 add up to 23. So this one is at least 4, because it can't be 7, 8, and 9. This one's done. This one's done. This one's kind of done. So it cannot be 1 or 5. It could be 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9, obviously. 3, 4, and 7 are eliminated here. This can't be 2, 6, or 9. These are too many to be counting, so. Okay. 3 can't be here, so 3 must be one of these 3. This could be 7, 8, and 3, though. If this is 5, this would have to be 9 here. If this is 5, the 1 would have to be here. If this is 5, 1 could be here, or 9 could be here. All the things are valid here. If 5 is here, that means 1 has to be above it. If 5 is here, you would have to have a 9 below it. Huh. Okay. Hmm. One of these is 5, which means a 9 has to be below it. But if either of these are 5, there means a 9 has to be below it, which means the first two digits add up to 14. So you would have to have a 1 below it then to add up to 15. But there's no possibility for 1 to be there because we know 1's there. Therefore, 5 cannot be here. Therefore, 5 has to be one of these two, which means 5 is one of these three, which means 9 has to be below it. 5 can't be here then. So 5, oops. 5 can't be here. So 5 has to be with a 9 below it here. Therefore, the 2 has to follow with it, right? Because a 1 can't be possible. So you can only have a 2 below it to add up to 16. So therefore, this can't be 2. Therefore, this must be 7, and this must be 3. So this can't be 3. This has to be a 7. So this can't be 7. So the first 3 digits cannot add up to 15. Actually, it could be. It's 2, 6. It could be 2, 6, 7, or it's 6, 9. So it's either way, the 6 has to be here. So the 6 is here, which means this can't be 6. This can't be 3, and it can't be 7. Because we already have the 7 here. So this is 2, 6, 7, or it's 6, 9. So it cannot have a 4. So 4 has to be here. This can't be 7. This can't be 6. We know the 4 is one of these two. Therefore, the 6 is here. The 2 we know is here, so this can't be 2. So the 6 has to be one of those 3. We know one of these is 5, 9, and 2. So either this is 2, 4, 2, 4, and that's 7. It's part of the middle set and not part of the outer set. This can no longer be 6 and 9 because the 6 has to be here. Can't be 7, 8, so therefore this is always part of the 15. So could it be 4 digits adding up to 15? No. Because if you have an 8, you have to have 1, 2, 4, and 8 to add up to 15. If you have a 9, it's 1, 2, 3, and 9, and 3 and 9. And so therefore, this adds up to 15. We know for certain. This could still be 7, 8. So this is 8 or 9. So these two add up to either 7 or adds up to 6. So if it adds up to 7, there's no 1, 6 allowed. So this could be 2 and 5. But if it's 5, it can't be 2 and 5 here. So if we had this be 2 and 5, this would have to have a 9 below it to be the 2, 5, 9, but that's not possible. So it cannot be 2, 5, and 9. It can't be 2, 5, and 8 either. So it could be 3, 4, 8, but the 3 is not allowed. The 4 is not allowed. So 2, 5, 8 is not allowed. 3, 4, 8 is not allowed. 1, 6, 8 is not allowed because the 6 is over here. So the 8 is not allowed, period. So this has to be a 9. Therefore, this is either 1, 5 or it's 2, 4. And it can't be 2, 4. Therefore, it must be 1 and 5. This is 1, 5, 9. So these three add up. Therefore, this can't be 9. This is now 2, 6, and 7. So these three add up to 15. Since these three add up to 15, these three must add up to 15 also. So this is 3, 4, and 8. So 5 cannot be here anymore. Therefore, this is 5. This has to be 1 or 7. This can't be 2, so this has to be 4, and this is 9. So these are done now, too. This is 3, 4, 8. This is 2, 6, and 8. So this can't be 2. This can't be 8. This can't be 7. 1, so this is 7, and this is 1. So the 5s now all have a 1 above or a 9 below. 5 has to be one of these two. This is 2, 4, 6, and 8, I guess. So 8. So this can't be 2 because the 2 needs to be with the 5 or the 9. So this can't be 2. This is 1 or 3, or it's 4. So we know, yeah, these are all fine. 16. So one of these is 5 and 9. The other one is 5 and 9. So there has to be a 5, 9, 2 somewhere here, right? Because the 5 has to have a 9 below it. And then you have to add 2 to add up to 16. So you can never have a 7, 9 pair in any of these spaces then, because the 9 has to always be with the 5 and the 2. So we know all of these have to be at least 3. Obviously one of them has to include something else. So it's 3, 2, 6, and 8. Therefore, the 5 has to be one of these 3. Since the 5 is one of those 3, the 9 has to be below it. Which could be any of them, actually. The 1 also is here. So this is 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is, so the 3 we already know is one of those. This is 1, 9, 6, 7, 8. So we have 15 here, we have 15 here, 15 here. Those are all done. 13 here, 13 here, 13 here, 13 here. That's done. 5 and 1 add up to 6. 4 and 2 add up to 6. 3, 8, 9 adds up to 20. 1, 2, 3 adds up to 6. 1, 7, 4 adds up to 12. These 6 add up to 31. These 5 add up to 31. These 4 add up to 17. These 3 add up to 17. Okay, these 4 add up to 20. These 5 add up to 24. These 3 add up to 23. Okay, this can't be 1 anymore, so this must be 7 and 3 to add up to 10. So therefore, these must add up to 29, right? 1, 5, 6, 8, 9. 6, 8, 9 adds up to 23 plus 1 is 24 plus 5 is 29. So that works. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 9 add up to 29. This is either 4 or it's 1, 3 for both of these. If this is 4, we know 2 is here. If this is 4, this has to be 6 or 8 with it. If it's 6, you would have to have 2 digits that add up to 6 also. Because you can't have another 4, 6, 6. Well, you could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, right? No, you can't, because this has to be 4 digits at least. So this is at most 4 digits. It can't be 5 digits. So if this is 4, this would have to be with 6 and 8. If it's with 6, it has to be with two digits that add up to another 6, but that's not possible because this can't be 1 or 5. Because 5 because of the Dutch flatmates, the 1 because of Sudoku here. So that doesn't work. So it can't be 4 and 6. If you tried 4 and 8, you have two digits that add up to 4. Because you can't have 4, 4, and 8. So it would have to be 4 with 1 or 3. Say it's 3, but the problem is 1 can't be here. So this doesn't work as 4. So this can never be 4. So this has to be 1, 3, and 1, 3. Which means this can't be 3, which forces this to be 3, which means this, you know, this is 5, 9, and 2 to add up to 16, because with 5 has to have a 9 below it. Therefore, this can't be 5. This can't be 5. This can't be 2. This can't be 2. This can't be 9. No 5 or 9. No 2. Therefore, this is 4. So this can't be 2 anymore. This can't be 4. We have a 6, 7, 6, 7 pair in row 5. So the 6, 7 can never be in the rest of the row. This can't be 6, 7. This can't be 6. So this is 2. This can't be 2. This can't be 2 anymore. This is a 4, 5 pair here. These can't be 4, so that's 2 or 5 here. Yeah, so then this can't be 2 in either of these spaces. 6 has to be one of these. So we know this is set. One of them obviously has to go down at least. This is 1, 3, 1, 3. So this is 4, 8 with 7. This is 1, 3, 1, 3 to add up to 4, so that's done. One of them 7. So this can't be 7 anymore, therefore this is 6, which makes this a 7. So this can't be 7. 7 is one of these 2. Okay, so let's check. This adds up to 16. This adds up to 4. This does add up to 29 here. This already adds up to 29. This adds up to 20. This adds up to 24. And this adds up to 23. So it's really this one that's interesting, right? You could technically have a 1 with it. I don't think you can have a 2 here, though. It's fulfilling the 16. You could have 7, 1, 8, fulfilling the 16 in one of them, and then it would be 3, 4, and 6 in the other. But then you would have to have 3 added on somehow, and that can't be 2 and 1, and you can't have another 3. So 1 can never be with 7 and 8 to add up to the 16. Then 1 has to be in the extended 16. So 3 to add up to 8. Sorry, to add up to 16, 3 has to be with 6 and 7. Is that right? Three has to be with 6 and 7. Well, it doesn't even have to, though. Right? Well, it's kind of hard to. How do you get... Yeah, so we know these 3 add up to 16. That means these 6 cells must add up to 29, which means it includes another 3 here. So either 3 is here, which would be 2 and 1, but that's not possible, or there's a 3 here. So this has to be a 2, 3 pair then. So this cannot be 3 here. So this is 6 or 8, which means, okay, so we have a 6, 8, 6, 8 pair in column 7. So this can't, the rest of the column cannot be 6 or 8. So this must be 1, which makes this a 3. These can't be 3. These can't be 1 again. The 5 must be with the 9 below it. Okay. So the 3 must be included in one of these. That means the other 3 is here too. So it always contains a 3. So it's either 2 digits that add up to 13, which is 6 and 7, or you have 3 digits adding up to 13, which is 1, 4, and 8. So it's either 6 and 7 or it's 1, 4, 8 in both of them, right? Because 3 has to be with one of them. So if it's 6 and 7, we know, okay, one of them's 3, 6, 7. The other one's 1 or 7. Sorry, one is 6 or 7. One is 4, 1, 8. Either way, 1, 4, 8 with 3 makes this 5 and makes that 2. That's fine. This is 20. This is 29. That's fine. This is 29. That's fine. This is 4. This is 16. This is 16. Or 15. This is 15. This is 15. This is 13, 13, 13. That 5 1 add up to 6. 4 and 2 add up to 6. 3, 8, and 9 add up to 20. 1, 7, 4 add up to 12. 1, 2, 3 add up to 6. These 5 add up to 31. Sorry, these 6 add up to 31. These 5 add up to 31. These 4 add up to 17. These 3 add up to 17. This has to be 24. So if this were the 4, 7, this was the 3, 6, 7, this would have to be 2. But this would not add up to 24 because this adds up to 16. This would have to add up to 6, so that's 22. Therefore, this would add up to 23. This would be 6 at minimum, so this is 23 at most. So this cannot be 4, 7, 8, which means this one must extend. So this must be the 3 with the 1, 4, and 8. And this must be 7, 3, and 6, which makes this 2. This is 4 and 8, so this must be 5, which makes that 4. This can't be 2. This is 5, which makes that 2. This can't be 1, so this is 7. This is 1. This can't be 6. This can't be 6. This can't be 8. No 4 or 6. No 4 or 8. This can't be 8. This adds up to 16. This adds up to... Okay. So this can't be 7, which makes this 6, which makes that 7, which makes this 2, which makes this 6. This has to be... Oh, we kind of already knew that. 7 had to be here. Anyways. This can't be 2, so this is 8, which makes that 2, which makes that 4. That 9, this is 4, which makes that 8. This is 4. Now we're just doing Sudoku. This is 4 and 8. But... Okay. What does that mean, though? Okay, so this is 2, 5, 6, 7, 9. So this is, sorry, 2, 6, 7, 9. 6, 7, 9 adds up to 22 plus 2 is 24. So that works. Interesting. These 3 add up to, okay. Every 5 must have a 9 directly below it. Right. So therefore, this 5 does not, or 1 above it. So this has to be 9 then. So this is 9, this is 6. This makes that 8, this is 9, this is 8, this is 6, this is 8, and therefore that's a 6. And that's a solution. Sorry, it took me a little while. Yeah. I'm not very good with Dutch flatmates rule set because I I don't know. For some reason, it just something in my mind just doesn't really register that the fives have to are so restricted. I don't know why. It just is. So it takes me a while to figure out that the nine has to be in certain situations. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the solve, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.